If y'all don't have a Prezi account yet, it'll probably work better if you go ahead and sign up for one. The website is just Prezi.com, and it sort of works the best if you can follow along and kind of play with it as I'm talking. That way you can try it out for yourself. But Prezi, if you're not familiar with it, is just online presentation software, and it sort of works like PowerPoint, but I kind of think about it like a Mac versus a PC. If you go into it thinking that it's going to work just like PowerPoint, you're going to have some issues with it. So a lot of it looks the same, but the way that you move things and format things is a little bit different than PowerPoint. And honestly, to me, it's a little bit easier. So just try and go into it with a blank mindset and not think about it as PowerPoint. So as you guys are getting your account set up, there's just a really short little video, and when you get into Prezi, we'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute, but there's this Learn and Support tab, and they have a whole lot of really good tutorial videos that are all really short. So they only last like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and they focus on one thing. So as you get into it, if you want to learn more and make your Prezis more complex, it's really easy just to go under that Learn and Support tab and find a short video to watch, and then you can pause it, and so that's really good. So while y'all are getting signed up, we'll show this little Get Started with Prezi video.
How do you sign up?
To start creating Prezi,
once you go to Prezi.com, there should be something right in the center that says create an account.
Yeah.
There we go.
And you'll just do the free one.
Yeah, and you'll just do a free account.
No, there's an
Wait a minute.
You have to pay for it.
I think it's,
Oh, right here.
no S at the end.
Oh,
For just Prezi, Prezi.com.
oh, okay.
And then it's a free account. I think there is an educator account that Lori
There's a free
said.
educator account.
Yeah, that you can sign up for. They do have a paid version of it, which I haven't found any need to get a paid version. What you have is pretty much good for what you would want to use it for. Really, the biggest difference is that you can set your Prezis to be private if you have a paid account, but on here you can set them that they're automatically public, but you can set it so that nobody can change anything about them, that they're not reusable, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Did you find it, Dr. Lloyd? Okay. All right.
first click New Prezi. Prezi's beautifully designed templates can help you express your ideas as a visual metaphor. When the template opens, first give your Prezi a title. Just click the text box and start typing. It's easy to add content. First, select a frame, then from the top menu select Insert, and then choose what you want to add. Images, YouTube videos, and even PDFs can be added in just a few clicks. Then use the transformation tool to make any changes. You can resize, rotate, and move your objects with ease. When you click Effects, you can enhance your visuals with one of several options, such as image filters or red eye removal. The path on the left shows the order in which your story will unfold when you're presenting. To change the order, just click and drag a thumbnail up or down the path. Once you're ready, click Present and start zooming.
So that's pretty much all there is to Prezi. The benefits of it versus PowerPoint are just that it makes things more visual. So if you have something that you want the kids to be able to see the connection between things, Prezi is good for that. Because it takes like a whole big picture and then it can zoom in on parts of it and they connect together. So is everybody in? Does everybody have their account open? Once you're there, this tab, Your Prezis, will take you, this is sort of like your home base, and it has all of your Prezis that you've done on there, and then there's a spot right here to start a new Prezi. So I'm just going to click on that one for a new one. And the first thing that pops up is the template menu. So you can choose one of their pre-made templates, or you can start from a blank one. Starting from a blank Prezi overwhelms me because it's literally just a blank page and you have to put in all of the frames and things like that. So I like to try and find one that looks like it will sort of go with whatever my topic is. Whether it's something like an idea web or if it's a path that needs to be followed directly. You can always add more circles and add more points to it or take some out if you need to, so you don't have to think, oh, this one only has 6 things so I can't choose that one. You can take those out or add more in if if you need to. It automatically puts up the latest ones on this first part. Over here are the most popular ones, but if you click right there where it says more, it'll take you to all of them. So you can choose whichever one you like, and then click Use Template. And then this is kind of your working layout. It looks a lot like PowerPoint where you have the big main section in the center. And then on the side are your little thumbnail slides that you can click on to go to and from. So just some of the navigation. Prezi sort of works where nothing shows up until you click on it or hover over it. So over on the side, if you just start moving your mouse around, this little navigation will come up. As you click and zoom into things, if you click that home button, it will take you back to that main overview so you can see what the whole thing looks like. The middle buttons, the magnifying glass, it'll zoom in or zoom out. I really don't ever use those. If you're on your regular desktop computer, your little scroll bar on your mouse will do the same thing. We'll zoom in and out, and then you can always just click and drag to see certain spots on the screen. So you can use these if you want to, but I find that it's a lot easier to use the little scroll bar on the mouse because you can do it a little more quickly. So once you want to start your Prezi, the first box, the first thumbnail is automatically that overview. So if you click on the one that says number 2, that's going to be the first thing that it zooms in on, so your first point. You can click anywhere on here to add a text. So it doesn't just have to be at the heading or the body that they've automatically given you. You can use those, but if you want text over here, just click it and you can put text over there. That is a good thing and a bad thing because this came up in the last session. Sometimes when you want to move and edit the frame, it gets a little confused with the clicking because you can click and it'll pop up a new text box and that might not be what you want it to do. So you kind of have to be careful about where you click for your text. But if you click and you can just type the title, you can change if you want your titles to all look like this. They kind of give you these preset options based on the theme that you've chosen. And then all of these work the same as they would in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, changing the font size, italics, bold, that kind of thing. Once you click away from it, if you click back on this is called the transformation tool that comes up. You can edit your text from there. You can delete it if you decide you don't want that. You can make your text bigger or smaller with these arrows, or you can drag it around. You also can do the same thing with the corners, but it will make the whole box big instead of just the font. And then if you hover over one of the corners, the little circle will come out if you want to rotate it.
How do you move it around?
You just click and drag.
Or can you look at this?
Mm-hmm.
I have not been successful.
So click the little hand.
I drag it with the hand.
Uh-huh, and there you go. So, and if you want to add more, like I said, just click somewhere else. Depending on most of the templates, like if there's this little spaceship here and you have a lot you want to put in this box and it's in the way, you can drag it out of the way. You can delete it if you don't want it at all. You can make it smaller. You can change the effects on the image. Anytime I mess with the effects, it kind of has a hard time loading. I've never gotten it to load correctly, but at home I've done it, and you can change the colors. You can make it black and white, that kind of thing. But if you don't want it at all, just delete it and it'll get it out of the way. If I can get it to stop doing this now. Get out of my Prezi back in. The good thing about Prezi is that it automatically saves. So if I close this out and just refresh my page, here's my Prezi I just made. So I didn't have to worry about saving it. It did it automatically for me. As soon as you hit that X, it comes back. Up at the top of the screen, once it loads, it's probably on yours already, there are these 3 buttons, and these are sort of your main editing buttons for the whole Prezi. Frames and arrows is good. Let's say that this one has given me 4 or 5 of these big circle frames. Maybe I need another one. That's not enough for what I want to do. So if I click frames and arrows, it's going to give me this drop-down menu. I can do insert frames, and all your different types are going to pop up from the side. So you can do circles that go with the theme. If you want a square, maybe you have a different idea that you want to kind of separate from the other things, you can do a square frame. And then these kind of show you similar to PowerPoint. They have the pre-made layouts that have a spot for an image and text, whatever you need it to be. But all you do if you want one is just drag and drop it to where you want it to go. And then on your thumbnails, it's automatically made me a 7th slide. Now maybe I want this to go with this, this first frame that I had. All I have to do is drag number 7 right up to be underneath number 2. So now when I go to present the Prezi, it's going to zoom to this one next before it goes on to number 3. So it will automatically change the zoom path as long as these thumbnails are in the right order. So you don't have to worry. There is a spot where you can click edit path and all the little numbers and it shows the lines, which is the zoom path. That can get really confusing. So I try not to mess with that because you can get really messed up where it can zoom in on like one teeny tiny part and you may not want that. So as long as these are in the right order, then it's going to zoom it in the order that you want it. And you can always click present and it will pull it up so you can see what it looks like, and then you can go back to editing it later. So if you just want to check to make sure that things are where you want them, you can click present.
Sarah,
Yes.
can we ask a question
Sure.
during the presentation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I copied, like I added another circle.
Okay.
Well, let's say I decide, oh, I really want to move it somewhere else. Shouldn't you just be able to click on it?
You can, yeah.
Why is
Click
it
on
not
that.
working?
Click on that frame that you did. Where was the new frame that you added in?
Right there.
So once you're zoomed in on that one, you should be able to click like on the number. Again, this is where it gets a little, yeah, you don't want that. It gets a little persnickety about the clicking. But if you can click like right on the edge, sometimes there's a little dot up at the top, and you can drag the circle somewhere else.
So it is possible to move it.
Yes, yeah. You can move it, but that's kind of my only complaint about Prezi is that you have to be
Once you
really
place
precise,
something.
yeah, about where you click. But you
So
can
try
move it
again.
somewhere else.
Okay.
Again, with frames and arrows, if you can draw one, so if you want to be able to like click and drag it out to make it a certain size, you can. You can put in arrows or lines if you want to connect the ideas, and you can even bend them so that they, you know, if it's a circular arrow you want, you can do it like that, so you can add those in. Insert is where you're going to go to add pictures and that kind of thing on there. You can put in diagrams. If you click image, it's going to pull up and you can search. It automatically searches Google Images. So you don't have to go to Google, search, and then save your picture and drag it over. If you just click that, it does it for you. It'll give you recommended ones that go with your theme, but you can search right here for whatever you need. You can also put in your own picture if it's something that you have saved on a computer from a file. You can add that in as well. You can do symbols and shapes, diagrams you can insert. You can embed a YouTube video in here. If you have an MP3 saved on your computer, you can put music on it. And it doesn't show up on this because there's not a microphone connected, but it's right here. You can record your own voice and do a voiceover on the Prezi. So if you wanted to make one and then post it for your students to watch later, you could narrate it while they watched it. So that's really helpful. You can put in PDF files or PowerPoint. So if you already have a PowerPoint that you've made and you don't want to have to make the whole thing over again in Prezi, you just want to put it as part of one, you can embed that in here as well. So you don't have to do the whole thing again. When you do from a file though, I did try it. You cannot insert a Word document. You have to save it as a PDF first, and then you can put it in that way. And it shows up just like an image. You can make it larger, smaller, and adjust the size however you need to. Themes is just sort of more visual. If you have the theme that you've chosen and maybe you don't really like the color scheme, you can change it to a different one if you want something else. And it will change it for you automatically. So that's just sort of more whatever you prefer. Again, over here, your path, you can drag and drop them to put them in whatever order you want them to be. So I'll give you all a couple of minutes to just sort of fiddle around with this kind of thing, and I'll answer any questions, and then we'll go on to some more things after that.
And that particular one
That's sort of the
thing,
moves.
is it possible?
It is. Let me see. You just have to.
It's like, I noticed there's a tiny dot at the
Yeah.
top of each object that
You just
I.
have
Oh
to
my
get
gosh,
it
I
just
tried
exactly.
that a while ago.
It's very sensitive.
It's really
Okay,
sensitive. Yeah, you kind of
But
have
I
to
think
get.
it is that, is it that dot?
Once you get, see how it highlights
Yeah.
when you like hover over it, that's when you can
I
drag
bet
it.
it
You
hover
just
on
gotta get that
application.
highlight. Yeah, it's so, that's my only thing, is that it's just really sensitive.
Oh, that's, I'm moving the whole thing. Okay.
So you can put it, yeah. And if you wanna do, like, some Prezis will have, like, within one big circle, there'll be like
Yeah.
3 smaller ideas, so you can make it that way if you want to as well.
Like the ones running in
Okay.
the cafeteria, there's 3 big blocks for school news, sports news, club news, and then they're inside each one.
I want to tell you, those look fantastic.
That was
I
my
saw
first
them
Prezi
up
ever.
running the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, look those.
So
Good
then-
job, Andy.
Yeah, it does look awesome. You can do a lot more complicated things, and there's another really short video I'm going to show y'all in a minute that kind of goes over that, but I really suggest like just starting small and get used to the formatting and kind of adding the frames and taking them away and getting used to that. But you can add in animations and make things disappear and reappear a lot like you can do in PowerPoint, but just it's easier to get comfortable with it this way first before you get more complicated. And again, those little tutorial videos are awesome, and they're really short, and you can find like one specific thing that you need to know how to do, and there's a video on it. So their support is really good. They have a forum board that people post questions, and the people who work for Prezi will post responses really quickly. So it's very helpful if you have a question about how to do something. While y'all are still playing, the other good thing about Prezi is that you can do real-time collaboration with it, just like you can do in Google Drive. I think that was another one we did. You can collaborate with up to 10 people at a time, and then you can share it in real time with up to 40 people. And you do not have to all be on the same network. It can be globally. So anyone, anywhere who has an email address can edit your Prezi with you. So all you do is, if you want to share it, the button right up there says share. And you can choose to download it as a PDF file, which will just, it just makes it a PDF. What Mandy does when she runs it in the cafeteria, you just download it as a portable Prezi, and it will make it a file that you can save on Jump Drive or on your desktop, something like that. So if you're worried about the network going out, if you've made a Prezi and you want to use it in class, just save the portable Prezi onto your desktop, and you can play it from there, and it doesn't have to be online to do it.
Just know that when you do that, it zips it down, so you'll have to go in and unzip it and extract it. So,
Yeah.
heads up on that.
Because it opens it as a Prezi, so
Yeah.
you have to unzip
Unzip
the
it.
file to get it out. But you can save it there. But if you go to Share Prezi, it will pull up this, and this is where you set your privacy level. So it automatically checks this box that says Allow Public Reuse. So that means that your Prezi is viewable to everybody, and anybody can save a copy and change it. They can't change the original one that you made, but they can save a copy of yours and make changes to it. Which honestly is, I think is fine. I leave all mine that way because that adds to that community of ideas, and you can go and use other people's Prezis as well. There's a gallery I'll show you how to get to. But if you don't want it, just uncheck the box, and it will still be public, but no one else can reuse it. They can just see it. If you want to add people to collaborate, you just put in their email address right here, and then this little box sets what you want their role to be. So they automatically set it as editor, but if you just want them to be able to view the Prezi in real time with you, you add them as viewer. So that might be something you would want to do if you want the students to pull up the Prezi on their laptop as you go through it. You could set them all as the viewer and use it that way. Editors can edit it, and once you add people in and you have it up, it will show little icons over on the side that will show you who is currently editing the Prezi at that time. So you'll be able to see who's working on it. Let's see. All right, again, it automatically saves. If you're worried about it, they do have a little save button, but right there it'll tell you the last time that it saved it for you. If you just click exit, it'll automatically save it again before it takes you back to your dashboard page, and then it will show you, here's what your Prezi looks like. So you can scroll through it this way if you want to. Present remotely, you can download it. If you want to save a copy of it, it'll just duplicate it onto your dashboard page. Again, here's your share button, just the same thing. And then if you want to embed it, like on a website, you can click that and it will make the code for you, and you can just copy and paste that over. But again, these are your 3 main tabs up here. So if you go back to your Prezis, it'll take you back to your sort of like, here are all of mine that I've created. If you end up with a lot of Prezis, you can put them in folders. I don't have very many, so I've just sort of left them all. But you can make a folder over here and organize them that way if you need to.
Here's a question.
Yes.
If I type some text in here and I want to edit the text,
Mhm.
for example, superscript, subscript, strike through, all of that, how is that possible?
I don't know that it'll do all of that the text can get that complicated yet, that you can do the strike through and that kind of thing. I think at this point they just do italics, bold, and then changing the text size. You can, I mean, you
Maybe
can.
part of the purchase package too.
Yeah.
The free one probably doesn't allow you to do all of that, but like the versions that you can purchase, I think they start to add some of
Add
those
more
features
editing
in.
things.
So if
into
I
it.
want to do an exponent, I've got to spend
It's
some money.
probably not gonna
It's
be
probably
Mac type
not.
ready.
Yeah.
Unless, Carrie,
You can
You make your
save it as
picture.
an image and pick
Yeah.
it
And
in.
insert
Yeah.
as an
Yeah.
image.
you could do that.
Yeah.
Wonder if I can do it in a Word document, copy and paste.
That's what I was
Yes,
saying.
yeah.
copy and
It'll
paste.
Yeah.
copy and
Yeah.
paste, so
Yeah.
that might work. I haven't tried that.
Even copy the image.
You can
Yeah.
copy and paste from Word. That's what I do when people send me an email about the announcements to put in the Prezi that runs in the cafeteria. I
Let
just
me
copy
give
and
that a
paste
shot.
whatever.
Yeah, let us know how
I don't know
it
for
works.
symbols. I'll be curious to see if the symbols. convert
Now,
over.
They do have this, there is a version of Prezi that you can download, like the software, and it has a free trial. I don't know how much it costs if you want to keep it, but if you wanted to download the software and keep it on your laptop, so if you were traveling or if you were somewhere where you didn't have the internet, you could still make a Prezi, and then once you got reconnected to the internet again, it would load it onto your account. So they have it. Has a 30-day free trial. Again, I don't know how much that would cost to purchase it, but if you know that situation is coming up, you might want to try something like that. Okay, there's one more little short video I was going to show y'all, it's just some tips about making a really good Prezi, which is pretty
Welcome
good.
to Prezi, the online presentation software that helps make you a great presenter. In this video, we'll show you how you can utilize Prezi's unique features to create a presentation that you and your audience will enjoy and remember. Let's go through the workflow of designing a Prezi by looking at the familiar story of Romeo and Juliet. Unlike documents and slides, the strength of Prezi is that it allows you to present information that's usually displayed like this in a more compelling visual way. When you put the same information into a Prezi, the links between all the elements in the story become clear. You don't need to be a designer to show how all the pieces of a puzzle come together. As with every good presentation, we know the key information that we want to convey to our audience. In the case of this Prezi on Romeo and Juliet, our central theme is conflict. So let's choose this template, which depicts 2 waves colliding with each other. Whenever you start creating a Prezi, a good first step is to throw all of your ideas onto the canvas. Click anywhere to add text, or use the insert menu to add pictures or videos. It might look like you sneezed out all your ideas, but that's fine for now. We can add in a structure later. Brainstorming like this helps you identify the components of your story, and seeing the elements in front of you helps you notice if something or someone is missing. The visual centers in your brain are trained to look for patterns, and when you start arranging things, you immediately start to notice symmetries and structure. Here you can see how the relationships between the 2 houses start to build visually. We know we're going to talk about conflict, and it seems clear that some names belong on one side and some on the other. Moving content around is simple. Just click and drag. Use frames as placeholders for your content. Templates come with frames pre-prepared for you. but you can always add more or delete to suit your needs. To emphasize the different sides of the conflict, and to add a little color to this presentation, we're going to add some shapes. To change which objects appear on top of others, right-click any object to access the layering menu. A big advantage of using Prezi is that we can show the bigger picture and then zoom to the details. In this case, the bigger picture shows the two families, and we can zoom into individual characters like Tybalt. We want to show our audience how Tybalt might look, so we're going to add some pictures using Google Image Insert. We don't want this information on Tybalt to appear straight away, so we can bring it in using the fade-in animation feature. As the content is already in a frame, just click Edit Path, select the star icon, and choose the order in which you want your content to appear. Once our details are done, let's zoom back to our overview. To make it even clearer to the audience, let's add some titles and some arrows. Now we have all our content, we'll need to make sure it appears in the right order. Click Present to go through your presentation. If you want to change the order in which you go through your content, you can move the thumbnails on the left-hand side. Now you're happy that everything is in place, you're left with a Prezi that shows the big picture, as well as allowing you to zoom in and focus on the details. And do it all in a visually compelling way that gives you a better chance of being understood and remembered. For more tips on making a Prezi, check out our dedicated support page.
So again, you can see, you can make it as complicated or as simple as you want it to be. Again, they have kind of the similar icons that you see in PowerPoint, like the star with the little lines. That's the same symbol for animation as it is in PowerPoint. So they're trying to give you familiar things, but it works a little bit differently. The last thing I wanted to show y'all is this third tab up here, the Explore tab. This is where you can find other Prezis that other users have made. A lot of them are just templates where they have started with a blank Prezi and built a new template that you can use. Some of them, again, are where people have set them where you can reuse them if you want to save a copy and you can edit it. And then other ones are just that you can view them and you have to use them exactly how they are. If you want it to be one that you can change the content to, just check this box to show reusable Prezis only. Otherwise, it's going to pull both. And most of the ones that come up on the main page are the most popular ones. I think Prezi's a lot bigger. In other countries, there's often, very often, they are not in English. So you have to look and just make sure. But again, if you can change the content, then it doesn't really matter. But I would suggest searching for a content standard or a topic that you want it to be about, and you can find a lot of Prezis. And then once you find one that you want, you can click that button that says Save a Copy, and it will automatically put it under the Your Prezis tab, and then you can get it and edit it from there for your own use. So take a few minutes and just look and see if there's anything that you can use. They do have staff picks where their staff has gone through and found ones that they thought were really good. And again, most of those are just going to be templates without the content in them, but that could be something beneficial if you want to use it. But that's really all there is to Prezi. It's really it's just sort of more engaging with the zooming than PowerPoint is sometimes, and they've done a lot of the legwork for you. So y'all are welcome to stay and play around with it. I'll help and answer questions.
Can you help with this
I can.
file?
Yeah.